speaking of which, this coming December, get ready for Ramaphosa versus Dlamini-Zuma round 2. Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma says she has accepted a nomination to contest for the ANC Presidency. And if you remember, she narrowly lost to Cyril Ramaphosa at Nasrec back in 2017, losing by 179 votes then. But now, with calls for a female ANC president, does she realistically have a chance? Political analyst Levy Ndou speaks to us in this morning just to give us some of his perspective on this matter. Levy, a pleasure talking to you as always. Thank you for your time and good morning to you. Now, it seems round 2 is ahead of the ANC presidential contestation here coming this December between Ramaphosa and Dlamini-Zuma. Does she stand a chance this time around?
Good morning to Melo. Good morning to the viewers at home. Indeed, we're heading for round 2. We observed it in 2017, and indeed it's this very same individuals who will be contesting. But I think that the situation is quite different now. It is different in the sense that the nominations have not as yet very open, because there are still other processes of the ANC. You still do not have a clear voice coming from the ANC Women's League, which was the main supporter of Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma. You still have a fractured KwaZulu-Natal province, which, if it does not come as a strong force, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma's support might be tainted, because her nomination and the main supporters were coming from KwaZulu-Natal. You also have the former Minister Willem Kiza's factor, because he is also coming from KwaZulu-Natal. But still, Tumelo, we still have a long way to go. We still need provinces, delegates, and different sectors of the ANC to support these candidates, and they still have to reach a threshold. So we still have a very, very long way to go. But equally, the ANC has been talking about women representation. And I think Nkosazana Zuma's candidacy comes at a time when women have always been saying we need to be supported. And indeed, we need then to see the response of the women in the ANC supporting another woman who wants to occupy the highest office.
Yeah, it's interesting when you speak about alignment, because we also know that, you know, besides the women's support that she enjoyed previously when she was contesting for ANC president, she also had the support of some of the RET faction. So what do you think then will be her stance? Will she align herself more with women so to use that as a way to say it's time, you know, for an ANC woman president? Or will she align herself with an RET faction? Or do you perhaps think that she will not be aligned to any faction whatsoever, since that's been sort of the message coming from most ANC leaders, that factions within the ANC are part of the reason why they've also been seeing a decline when it comes to votes?
My view is that if Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma wants to make it to be the president of the ANC, she should actually align more with the women and get the support from women. The RET faction in the ANC appears to be gradually getting weakened, because the unfortunate part is that most of them don't appear to be playing by the rules, and they are mostly seen as people who are defiant and defying the same rules and regulations of their own party, the ANC. And it creates a situation where it becomes difficult to trust anybody who comes from the RET forces, because they are seen as a defiant group of the same rules of their own organization. So if you have to come from that grouping, you should be having extra support outside of that grouping. Yeah. But it also requires some form of political mathematics, that indeed, if they might be bringing something in terms of numbers, she might actually benefit from the RET grouping within the ANC. But for me, that is not the grouping that one should actually align with, unless there is something special that it might bring as we're building towards December.
Yeah, as you've mentioned, though, Levy, there is still a long way to go. Of course, there's still more processes that need to be, undertaken before we can see the final list of those contesting for any top leadership that is, of course, within the ANC come December. But we'll, of course, leave it there for now. I appreciate you speaking to me this morning, political analyst Levy Ndou, touching on the chances that Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma has, given the fact that she has, of course, put her hat once again into the running of ANC Presidency. And we'll see how that, of course, turns out come, of course, Congress later on in December.